现在的男的真的太挑了。
Men nowadays have really become more and more picky. Before the spring festival, I went on a blind date with a guy. He really made me angry. I told him I could cook, and he responded, "But you're older." I said I can drive and do housework, and he still said, "But you're older." I told him that I would be even more virtuous in the future, and he still only focused on the fact that I'm older. I really felt like this kind of response was so discouraging, and it hurt my feelings. In fact, they would rather find a girl in her 20s, even though she only earns 3,000 yuan a month, but they can treat her like a princess at home, pamper her, and support her. They are unwilling to accept an older single woman who is capable and knows how to do everything. I feel like society has really changed a lot now. Many people's views on relationships have become more and more realistic, and the prejudice against age has become more and more severe. It seems that all abilities and advantages are not as important as the label of age. This idea really makes me feel a bit lost and helpless. It looks like this year's spring festival, I won't be able to bring a boyfriend home for the holiday.
作为一个优质大连剩女，我没有职业歧视，但是我想说的是
As a high-quality older single woman, I have never had any prejudice or discrimination against people's professions. But I want to say this, those guys with a monthly salary of 3,000 to 4,000 yuan, I really hope you will stop coming after me. In the past, the boyfriends I had were wealthy second-generation individuals with annual incomes in the millions. The living conditions were completely different. Moreover, the world of the wealthy second generation is worlds apart from your lives. How could I possibly stand on the same level as you guys? I was once a woman who was protected by an eagle, who had experienced luxurious and decent lives. I can no longer accept a life that is as ordinary as that of a sparrow. I'm not looking down on you. It's just that my life experiences and perspective have reached a new level. I hope you can understand, and I wish you all the best in finding the right partner for yourselves. I believe that everyone should choose their partner based on their own standards, and I also have my own bottom line and standards. After all, my past experiences have given me more options and considerations.
我发现有些女的真的是离谱，他妈给离谱开门，那是离谱到家了。
I find some women's thinking really hard to understand. It's simply outrageously exaggerated. They always think they should find a partner who is perfect in every way. However, their standards are so high that they are unwilling to make even the slightest compromise. Sometimes, just because a partner has a slightly bent nose hair, they think it's a deal breaker. This mindset baffles me because, you know, when you were in your 20s, you couldn't find that 100% perfect match. So how can you expect to find it now that you're in your 30s or 40s? I really want to ask you, older single women, who gave you this kind of courage? Is it the female celebrities cheering you on? I sincerely advise you all, fairy ladies, I have a word for you. If you think you found a man who meets every one of your requirements and you can't find any flaws, I bet this man has one flaw, and that is, he doesn't fancy you at all. If you don't believe me, you can keep waiting. You're in your 30s now, thinking you're still young and have plenty of time? Well, you can wait until your 40s, 50s, or even 60s, 70s. And keep waiting, right? But when you're old, and eventually become a lonely old person, you can still wait for your Prince Charming. Don't say I didn't warn you. Dear girls, when we look for a suitable husband, the key is not in setting a perfect partner according to your own standards, as if it's like computer programming, where you input a program and a perfect match will automatically appear and the man will be yours. The reality is, you can only choose between someone who treats you well and someone who meets your standards. Whether it's his financial ability, appearance, or other aspects. As long as you can find a balance and choose a man who meets at least one of your requirements, you're already doing well. So, when you all keep being so picky, it really makes me furious. I can't even introduce you to a man who would meet your satisfaction. If you're still unwilling to listen to advice and continue waiting, then wait until the day comes when you're a lonely old person. Don't say I didn't warn you.
给大家讲一个我接咨询过程当中遇到的真实的故事啊。
I want to share a real story that I encountered in marriage and dating counseling. Last week, a man came to me for consultation. He is quite a successful guy, earning around 2 million yuan annually, living in a first-tier city. He has 2 children, a nice property, and overall, his financial situation is excellent. He also has clear requirements for his marriage. So, he came to me to inquire about what kind of partner he could find at his age. I told him that, based on his situation, it might be difficult to find an unmarried young woman because he is not young anymore, born in 1982, and he already has 2 children. However, if he is willing to consider someone who has been married before but has no children, or someone who has been divorced with a daughter, it would be relatively easier, especially if the woman is attractive. Upon hearing this, the man replied that his requirements were not high and he could accept a divorced woman with children, no problem. Hearing this, I had a favorable impression of him. I thought he was a responsible, easygoing guy. So, I thought of a woman who had been married briefly but had no children and was in good condition, and I decided to introduce her to him. I sent him the woman's photo directly, only for him to reply immediately. She has an internet celebrity face, I don't like it. In that moment, I felt completely slapped in the face. This incident made me realize that many men who appear to have great conditions and low requirements actually have high internal standards. Especially for men who earn millions of yuan a year, their standards are not simple, in fact, they can be quite high. You can't just judge their mate selection based on their surface conditions. As I mentioned before, many excellent men actually don't lack women, so women, when you meet these outstanding men, you need to be more proactive. In fact, many successful men have already found their ideal partners when they were in college or just entering the workforce. Therefore, their single period is very short. So, if you want to pursue such men, you must seize the opportunity and take the initiative. If you're not proactive, someone else will soon introduce them to potential partners. I once met a very successful man from Hangzhou. At that time, I happened to have a female fan with good conditions and the right age. I casually made the connection, introducing them to each other, and they quickly started talking. So, you'll notice that outstanding men rarely stay in the matchmaking market for long, because many people are actively helping them find partners. Truly excellent men don't end up spending long periods of time without a girlfriend. The man who came to me last week reached out to me again this afternoon on WeChat, asking if I could introduce another woman to him. I directly told him, "I'm afraid I can't introduce anyone to you. Last time, when I introduced that woman to you, you complained about her looks. You guys may say that a woman just needs to be virtuous and able to manage the household, but I tell you, for men with high income, they are really very picky about a woman's appearance. Looks are extremely important to them. So, sisters, you must accept this reality. Sisters, please don't believe those online matchmaking ads like, 'I'm 40 years old, I have a house and a car, earning this much a year, and I want a certain type of woman.' It may seem that these men have low requirements, but in fact, men with high incomes don't appear on the matchmaking market. They don't fall to the point where they need matchmaking services. Truly successful men usually find their partners through their personal networks, friends, or in higher-end social circles. They don't need to go to matchmaking agencies. So, if you want to find an excellent man, you must first become an excellent woman. Do you understand? It's not enough to be unattractive and lack abilities and still expect to find an outstanding man. These men are outstanding for a reason. They didn't become successful to downgrade for a woman who is not excellent. Some of you may ask, are excellent men always good men? I say not necessarily, but highly successful men are more likely to be good men. Because successful men generally have good qualities. They need to work hard, and it's because of their efforts that they become outstanding individuals. Excellence doesn't equal perfection. Excellent people can still have flaws. But outstanding men often have qualities that are socially recognized. So, when looking for an excellent partner, you must understand this. So, I still want to remind you, sisters, don't treat men like fools. If you're not an excellent woman, don't expect to find a perfect man. Sorry, those men really won't be interested in you. So, you must accept this harsh reality. Let me tell you again about what it means for a woman to be excellent. Being excellent as a woman doesn't mean competing with men in terms of income. What do men want? Most wealthy men want a woman who is beautiful, with a good figure, or from a good family, or has a decent job, and they want her to have a good personality. For example, be gentle, virtuous, and kind. If you don't understand these principles, sisters, please take the time to reflect on them.
40岁没男人要，所以才说不结婚。
I often see comments saying that I'm 40 and still not married, implying that no man wants me, and that's why I don't want to get married. Every time I see such comments, I can't help but smile, but what I want to say is, my beauty doesn't need me to beg any man to want me. It's about whether I want to choose those men, not the other way around. I think the saddest thing for Chinese women is that they've always believed their lives must depend on a man who loves them. As if a woman's ultimate goal is to find a husband. This so-called charming man mindset and reliance thinking are deeply rooted, influencing the views of many people. In fact, once you break out of this vicious cycle, your mindset will become much lighter, and you will feel much more relaxed. Especially for many Chinese parents from a young age, they brainwash their daughters, telling them to be obedient, well-behaved, good at housework, and virtuous and gentle, or else they will have no one to marry. This mindset makes many girls feel inferior from a young age, as if they are products in the market, being picked, scrutinized, and evaluated by others. It seems that in life, you can only gain recognition by constantly pleasing others. Many times, women's worth is simplified to whether they can be a good wife and mother. If someone compliments you by saying, "You're gentle, perfect for being a wife," you might even feel proud. But this kind of compliment actually suggests that you're easy to control and exploit. Honestly, I've never liked such praise. I'd rather be myself than cater to others. But why should I do that? I don't care what others like. I only care about whether I'm comfortable with myself and whether my life is happy. I won't tolerate any injustice. For me, my own feelings are more important than any external evaluation. I believe every girl should have an independent personality and character, and should not rely on anyone's evaluation to define her life. We don't need to wait for others' judgment or evaluation, because we are already good enough. If I can't meet a man who satisfies me, I'd rather live alone. I will never settle for a man I don't like just to be in a relationship. Being happy with myself is the most important thing.
我就想知道现在男生结婚都看什么？
I really want to know, what do men look for when getting married now? Do you focus on a woman's character or her personality, or do you consider her age? Or is it about her family background? Or is her educational background important? Or perhaps it's about whether her values align with yours? Or do you care if she's beautiful? What exactly do you look for in a woman? I feel that getting married is really difficult for me right now because as a 36-year-old woman, my options are almost non-existent. I feel like I've become part of the difficult-to-marry group because whether it's men of my age or older, they have many picky standards. Many men of my age think I'm too old and my fertility is no match for women under 30. And men in their 40s may think that since I'm already 36 and haven't married, I must have very high standards. Also, many people may have doubts about why I haven't gotten married, assuming there's something wrong with my health. Moreover, when it comes to men in their 40s or 50s who are divorced and have children, they might be concerned about how I'll treat their kids, which further limits my options. So right now, I feel like I have no men to choose from. Some people suggest that I could try dating a man in his 20s, but I personally feel that the age gap is just too large and our life experiences and perspectives would be very different. We probably wouldn't be a good match, so I'm not interested in trying with younger men. Therefore, I feel completely lost. It really feels like it's nearly impossible for me to find a partner now. I would advise younger women not to wait until they're 35 or 36 to get married, because I now truly understand that this age really means the opportunities for women to choose a partner are gone. It's really hard, and the options are extremely limited. In fact, my ideal marriage partner would be a man who is divorced and doesn't have children, but this group of people is incredibly rare, almost like a needle in a haystack. It's really hard to find one.
我43岁了，没有结婚，也没有生过孩子。
I'm already 43 years old, and I have neither married nor had children. Recently, I posted some videos to share my feelings over the years. I said that these years, I have actually lived in great loneliness, turning myself into an isolated island. However, some netizens seem unable to understand, and some even question me. They all say that a woman like me, with my conditions, how could I not be married? They think there should be a long line of people chasing after me, and they wonder how I could not have met the right person all these years. Indeed, when I was younger, many people pursued me, but at that time, I didn't particularly consider marriage. I didn't have a clear plan for marriage, and I didn't actively accept those who pursued me. As a result, many excellent men were missed. Today, I realize that I may not have seized some important opportunities back then. Additionally, some netizens suggest that I could adopt a child. However, to be honest, I feel that I don't have the ability to independently raise a child on my own. So, I have never seriously considered adoption. I believe that if I truly wanted a child, I should have a relatively stable family environment and support, rather than relying solely on myself to bear this responsibility. Another topic that people are particularly concerned about is my fertility. Many ask me, "You're already 43 years old, do you still have the ability to give birth?" To this, my answer is, of course, my health is fine, and my fertility is normal. I don't have any physiological problems. It's just that I am a little older. But now that I am at this age, I actually don't want to have children anymore. After all, I will be 44 next year. To be honest, for a woman, it becomes increasingly difficult to conceive at 44. Since I have never had children, I do feel some fear inside me, worried that I won't be able to handle the challenges of pregnancy and childbirth. Over the years, I often think in the quiet of the night about my choices regarding love and childbirth. Although I had many opportunities when I was young, as I grow older, I gradually realize that some choices are becoming fewer, and many opportunities have already been missed. I can only let go and live happily on my own.
Can women over 30 still find their ideal and excellent partner? I can only say it is possible, but the probability is extremely low, and the difficulty is quite high. Many times, older single women will label themselves as high quality and believe that they are outstanding and therefore should be able to find a suitable partner. But in reality, there is some contradiction between being high quality and carrying the older single woman label. If you are truly that outstanding, why have you not married yet? For example, if you have a good figure, an attractive appearance, and many admirers, why has no man been able to marry you? This means that either your standards for choosing a partner might be too picky, or that the men who meet all your expectations and qualities just don't like you. In real life, it is very rare for a high-quality man to be willing to marry a woman who is a few years older than him. Indeed, while some excellent men might be willing to consider a woman a bit older, such men are relatively few. Therefore, as an older single woman, you must clearly understand the reality. View your marriage and dating situation rationally, and appropriately adjust your standards for choosing a partner. After all, your actual situation is an important factor affecting your marriage choices. You cannot just focus on finding the perfect Prince Charming, but should make a more rational and realistic choice based on your current situation. Only in this way can you find a suitable partner in the real world. Do you agree with my point of view? Feel free to leave your comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot to us, and we will continue to bring you better content. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.